Hi guys, and welcome to Cooking with Fat Julie French Chef Edition, where I attempt to make a recipe out of one of my French chef textbooks. Today I'm going to try to make un succès. I'm going to start by cutting a piece of wax paper to fit on a cookie sheet. Then I'm going to use something circular for the size and shape of the vase of my cookies. This is the bottom of a cake pan, and with a pencil I'm just going to outline this circle. There we go. And that's going to be the stencil for my cookie. Now, just a quick tip, before putting that on the cake pan, I'm going to turn it upside down so that the small groove left by the pencil doesn't leave an indent on my cookie. Now let's move on to making the cookie. I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees. I'm going to beat my egg whites into a French meringue. So I'm going to start on low until that starts to thicken up a bit. And then I'm going to turn it up to high, and I'm going to add my sugar in 2 or 3 additions. So that's started to thicken up. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar as I go. I know my egg white is done when it starts forming little peaks like this. So my egg whites are nice and stiff. I've got little peaks, and I'm ready to go to the next step. With a spatula, I'm going to gently mix in my dry ingredients while trying to keep the volume that I've beaten into the eggs. My book says to mix from the inside towards the outside, but I haven't quite figured out how to do that without getting everything stuck on the outside. I'm going to fill a piping bag with my cookie mixture. If you don't have a piping bag, you can just use a Ziploc bag and cut off the corner. I like to fold down the edges like this, and then start to fill my bag, and that way when I flip up the edges there's no mess on them. Now, using the circle that I've drawn on my wax paper, I'm going to use my bag to make a spiral from the inside to the outside. Now I'm going to pop that in the oven for about 12 minutes until it's nice and golden brown. And I'm going to start on my second disc. And there's my beautiful first cookie right out of the oven. I'm going to throw in my second cookie, and then we'll keep going. For my buttercream, I need my butter to be room temperature. So I've just measured out 200 grams of butter, and I'm going to leave it for at least an hour until it is room temperature. Now that my butter is soft and at room temperature, as you can see, I'm ready to start making my buttercream. I'm going to start by putting my sugar in a saucepan and adding just enough water so that it's wet. So I can't tell you exactly how much water to put in there. We don't need too much. We need just enough so that all of the sugar is wet. So at this point it's safe to say that my sugar is wet. I'm going to turn on the heat to about medium high. And I want to bring that to 121 degrees. Since I don't have a thermometer, I know that I want it to come to a boil. I know that first I'm going to see some fast popping bubbles, and that then the bubbles are going to slow down. And I know that the sugar is cooked properly once I plunge a fork into it and pull it out and it starts to form strings. So I'm going to heat that up and then I will show you what that looks like. Here you can see my rapidly popping bubbles. My mixture isn't clear because I'm not using white sugar. Mine is colored a little bit yellow. But I'm just going to wait for these bubbles to slow down. And it looks like they might be slowing down a little bit. Let me just check. So it doesn't look like it's done yet. It looks like it might be almost done. I want it to start making strings once it's falling from the fork. So as you can see, my bubbles have slowed down quite a bit. That's what I want. And when I dip my fork in it, my mixture is a lot thicker. It is forming strings, and it's not just one drop after the other falling. So this is exactly what I want it to look like. So I'm going to pull it off the heat now. Enough hands. Okay, so as you can see, my mixture is now in a different bowl. That's because my sugar was too hot. When I put it into my egg mixture, it became a giant ball of caramelized sugar and flew all over the place. It was absolutely horrible, and I will add that part to the end of my video. So I redid it, and I have mixed it up until the mixture has cooled down. I'm just gonna, oh my goodness, yeah, it's really thick, and it certainly has cooled down. So now I'm going to take my room temperature butter and put that in little by little as I mix it. Again, this is not so easy with the camera going, but I will do my best. So I'm going to keep doing this, and I will show you what it looks like when it's done. Okay, so I have mixed my second attempt here until it is thick and smooth and quite uniformly mixed. And now I'm going to flavor it with some praline, which is called praliné, well, down here. And it says to put in as much as you want to taste. I've checked a bunch of recipes, they all say that. One said 100 grams, I have 100 grams here. Anyway, I've tasted my icing, it's quite sweet, but I'm not quite sure what it's supposed to taste like. So anyway, I'm just going to add a little bit and go from there. Okay, so let's taste this, see what the difference is. Well, that's certainly interesting. It's really, really sweet, so I'm not going to add any more. Just remember, you can always add more if you add a little bit first, but if you add too much, you can't take it out. Or you're going to end up remaking it like I did. And I'm still not quite sure how I'm going to get the caramelized sugar out of my hair. Anyway, now I'm going to take my filling or icing, or I'm not even quite sure what to call it, and I'm going to put it in the fridge so that it cools and hardens a bit and will be easier to pipe onto my little cookies. Here you can see I've been using the middle of my cookie to try out my piper. With the way my luck has been going, my bag exploded, so now I have a new bag, and I'm going to try just nothing as the tip. Alright, that's about what I want it to look like. So, I'm going to go all the way around my cake in the part that people will be able to see, and try to do something sort of uniform. And once I've made it all around my cake, I'm just going to fill in the middle however is easiest. So this part that you're seeing me do right now is just for decoration because that's the part that people will see. So I've made it all around my cake, and now I'm just going to fill in the center. I'm just going to flatten that out a little bit. Alright, so I'm not a chef, nothing spectacular, nothing artistic, but there we go. Now I'm just going to try and gently lift the top of my cake onto there. Okay, here we go. And I'm just gently placing it on, making it even. That's what it looks like from the side. Now I'm just going to sprinkle on some icing sugar and some sliced almonds as decoration. Yep, very artistic. So this is what my succès looks like. It's kind of a success. So please send me a picture or even a video of what happened when you tried to make yours. I would love to know. Share anything else in the comments below, and bon appétit!